I was among hundreds of uniformed men, some dressed in gray, others in blue, who charged across a grassy field with scattered palmettos and oaks. Like life-size pieces on a giant game board, we moved on command. Second line, forward, ready, aim, fire. Saber-wielding horseback riders galloped among us. Booming cannons and crackling rifles wafted smoke into the wind. Full blood stained those who fell in dramatic displays of injury and death. We were Civil War reenactors, before cheering spectators accustomed to the blue Union and gray Confederate units staging battles. Few, however, had seen my unit of colored troops, the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Regiment, Company I. We honored the memory of the Black Union soldiers who gave their lives at the epic 1863 Second Battle of Battery Wagner on Morris Island, South Carolina. The other side had no black reenactors. They waved the Confederate banner while wishing the real war had a different outcome. The mostly white audience treated us with respect, asking if we'd pose for pictures. We represented a history they weren't accustomed to seeing. As a reenactor, I had developed an appreciation for historic places and had become comfortable sleeping outdoors, sitting around campfires and listening to stories, music, and lies told by macho men. Before a reenactment, we camped on historic grounds like a lusty battlefield historic state park near Jacksonville, Florida, the site of the state's largest Civil War battle in 1864 that involved the 54th Massachusetts. But then I realized at an annual regional reenactment at Boone Hall Plantation near Charleston, South Carolina, that we were ignoring a history on the other side of the big house. Founded in 1681 by Major John Boone, an Englishman, the site is a former brick factory and pecan farm that enslaved thousands of people of African descent. Today it is a major tourist attraction, suggesting something concrete to visitors curious about the meaning of the loaded term plantation and slavery. By 1817, Henry and John Horlbeck had acquired the 1,450-acre property. During the Horlbeck years, the Boone Hall brickyard produced 4 million bricks annually with the free labor from 50 men and 35 women, said Mount Pleasant historian Susanna Smith Miles. The cabins were made of those rejected bricks not sold to the federal government to build Fort Sumter or the stately Charleston mansions of plantation owners. When I slept in a tent the night before reenactments at Boone Hall, I'd wonder about the people who lived in those cabins beyond the big house. Those cabins stand as silent reminders of what caused the Civil War, yet they and the enslaved were ignored. My thoughts of those cabins returned years later and prompted a bigger idea, an opportunity for me to sleep in one of them on a still night in May 1999. I tapped into my desire for exploration to gird myself for a night alone in a slave cabin at Boone Hall. I replaced any fear of the unknown with thoughts of the enslaved ancestors. I had just arrived in Charleston on an early morning flight from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, feeling good that the History Channel didn't reject my night in a slave cabin idea.